back.
Brother, man, we here. How you feeling?
Oh man, I'm great. What's going on with you?
Man, I'm good. We gonna jump into it. Uh, Combs, the special teams coordinator, Brandon Combs, he was relieved of his duties this morning from the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
So I know you had some things to say about that. I'm gonna let you jump into it and give your your talk about it. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah. So if people didn't know, Braden Coombs, he got fired. And I did some backstory reading from Pride of Detroit, and basically, what they said was they said that Braden Coombs pretty much the whole time while he was in Detroit was kind of for himself. He was kind of like a self guy instead of a team guy. And I guess the main reason that he was fired was at the end of the game yesterday. He called a fake punt, and I guess he didn't clear it with Daryl Bevel, or Daryl Bevel. He tried to clear it, and Daryl Bevel said, let's not. No, we not running that play. But apparently, Brady Coombs called it anyway, and Daryl Bevel went to Rod Wood, and Rod Wood okayed that he fired him.
How you feel about that, man?
I don't like it. And I mean, even though, who's to say, when a new GM was hired, that Braden Coombs would have been kept? Because I personally think he probably, of all the coaches that was out there or was on this team, I believe that Braden Coombs probably was the best one. Our special teams unit hasn't performed the way that it's performed this year, and I don't know how long. I mean, I know we got some inconsistencies in the kicking game, and Matt Prater, he's definitely showing his age. He's got his issues. Seems like he can't kick a field goal, but he can, if it's 50 yards or more, he can hit it. But if
Right,
it's close, he can't get it, and
right.
that's a problem.
I'm when he does an extra point, my heart skips. But then it's like if it's
He
a
can't
50,
hit it.
if it's a 55 yarder, I'm like, all right, I'm good.
He
Like,
got it. Yeah. Like yesterday, he kicked one, and I was like, oh yeah, he got this. And then he kicked he tried to kick an extra point earlier, and it was like, all right, yeah, it's time. He probably needs to be. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he back smoking weed again. I don't know if he back hitting the bottle, but it's time to find somebody else.
definitely. I'm gonna throw my 2 cents on the firing. The timing I feel like is off, but like
It's
I said,
off.
we're not in the building, right?
Yeah.
And the way the special teams has been going this year, and it's weird when I say this, he's probably a really good coach, right?
Yeah. Yep.
With that said, when you're a really good coach in a bad organization, you might want to separate yourself. You know what I mean? It's just like you
Yeah.
working. It's just like you working in a job, and
Mm-hmm.
like you better than everybody else at the job. So you kind of like, well, those are my. We're all a team. We're all working for the same company, but I'm
Yeah.
better than these guys.
Yeah.
So
It's kind of like a thing where it's I'm David Ruffin, and these are the Temptations kind
yeah,
of dudes, right?
pretty much, pretty much. So his arrogance and his cockiness probably over the last couple of months, as him seeing everything just fall apart. And you know
Yeah.
how it is, when you really good at your job, and you seeing like, yo, I'm around a bunch of bums like these guys, like the coach just got fired,
Yeah.
he's over
Yep.
here taking over
Yep.
the roles of the coaching staff, like
Yeah.
and the owner. We don't have no GM no more, so he might
Yep.
have had his chest out a little bit more.
He and yeah. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was gonna say that he probably noticed, you know what I'm saying? Like he had the only section of that team that was actually anything worth something. And I'm sure he probably seen, fans calling for him to be the interim head coach, and, people shouting out how good our special teams was during his time there, which is not very long, and how quickly he got it changed around. I definitely, because I would be like, y'all can say what y'all want about Detroit, but the special teams is good. You know what I'm saying? My job is good, and with Daryl Bevel not really. Honestly, if we want to be honest about it, Daryl Bevel not really having a groundbreaking offense. He didn't fix the run game. Um, he just doesn't. I think he just doesn't scream He don't scream head coach for me, and I think people forget. There's a lot of fans out there that's calling for Bevel to be the head coach. They forget last year we tied the Arizona game because Darrell Bevel called a timeout when we frankly didn't need one.
Right, right.
People
And
forget that the fans in Seattle ran him out of time. They literally had to get. He was doing the same stuff in Seattle that he was doing here, and I think that's why nobody he didn't take responsibility for anything. You know, even after he called that timeout, well, he said, "Well, I thought he put it on Matt Patricia." You know what I'm saying? Instead of just saying, "Well, I called the timeout. It was my fault." He didn't take responsibility for it. I didn't like that.
and to full circle to back to the firing this morning, it's kind of like you call Rod Wood to get him fired because obviously, yeah, I understand where you come from as a head coach. You're like, well,
Right.
he disobeyed my orders. He did this, that,
Yeah.
and the third. All
Yeah,
right,
I can
cool.
understand it.
Cool. But at the end of the day, let's not forget you still got 2 weeks to
2 weeks
play, right?
left. Yeah.
And and,
Yep.
and then on top of those 2 weeks, people don't realize how important the special teams is in professional, like in the NFL. Special
Yeah.
teams department is rough because you got a bunch of guys who basically they putting their well-being on the line every time that
Right.
kickoff happens or that
Right.
punt happens. Now are the guys now? If he was a player coach, if he was running around and the players was like they didn't like that, his chest out, and he was he's feeling himself. If the players was on that energy and they didn't like that, I understand. But if the players, but that doesn't look the case because
I
look,
I did the players. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
because the players obviously were playing for him to be top, special teams in the league. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I didn't see it myself, but I've been seeing some stuff on Twitter where apparently what's Buddy who he's the punt returner.
Agnew,
Yeah, Agnew didn't really take to it. He didn't like the news of him getting fired, and I mean,
that's what I'm talking about. See, I didn't even know that. That's more
yeah,
of the case to say, yo, the players are basically saying, yo, why'd you get rid of my guy? Now
yeah.
we got 2 weeks left in the season. An important facet like the special teams department, you're gonna now break this up, and you're not even the dude. Matter of
You're not the guy. That's why I don't like Darrell Bevel because my thing is, you know what, bro? It's 2 weeks at the end of the season. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna be the head coach here next year, and I'm not gonna be the GM next year. This guy that he could be somebody that the new GM or the new head coach could say, hey, you know what? I want to. I can spend less time worrying about special teams because I know I got a dude here
this,
already
this
that's
is
running with this unit.
this is the guy. You know what's crazy? This is the guy when Patricia was fired, we wanted him to be the interim coach. We
Yeah.
wanted Coombs to be the coach because he had that department running so well. We was like, yo, might as well give him a shot. You see what I'm
And
saying?
and,
So
and maybe Bevel was seeing some of that. Maybe he was hearing some of that as well. And I think honestly they only gave it to Bevel just because he's the older guy. But I mean, at the end of the day, let's not fool ourselves. You know, let's not look at that Bevel's offensive game plans and play calls as a whole and say, yeah, he's definitely he definitely should come back and be the offensive coordinator. Because I'm not saying that. I'm not
man,
saying it at all.
no, no, not at all. Uh, we got a lot of work to do, man. This news is actually a little bit frustrating. Like I said,
It's frustrating.
I can't go out on the line and say it's detrimental to the team simply because we're not in the locker room. Like I said,
Right.
I don't know this dude, and he might have been running around cussing everybody out, this, that, and third,
And this
saying
is the first time that I'm hearing, but at the end of the day, can you really blame these guys? These are humans. So at the end of the day, he has a family, a wife, and children, I'm sure, just like everybody else. So at the end of the day, he's probably like, you know what? This is terrible here. Like this is getting ready to be blown up. I got to
yeah,
go out here and make myself because I still have to get another job next. At the in 3 weeks, I got to get another job. So I got
he
to make.
he solidified though, like how he had the Lions
Oh yeah,
performing special
yeah.
teams. He's gonna get a job real
He gonna
quick
get a
in the
job.
NFL.
Yeah, he's gonna get a job, and it might not be. I mean, it might not be. Maybe like an assistant, like a coach's assistant, like he might deserve. Because I think I think he need to be in a position to where not just coaching the special teams, but you give him a higher up position, like you be my assistant head coach, or you be my, assistant coach, or whatever the case. That way he can start to
Right.
be groomed, because I think he's going to be a head coaching candidate sometime in the next,
Another, he's gonna be
years.
a gem that we're gonna look at in 3-4 years and be like, yo,
And
he was
we
with
should have
us.
kept him. Yep.
Yep, he was with us. Same old Lions, same old BS.
Yeah.
It's sad. The only thing that I can say that's positive about it is we don't have a real GM in place to say that made that move.
Exactly. And who's to, I don't want to get too worked up, because who's to say, the new GM doesn't come in and call him back and say, hey, you know what? Yeah, I mean, you did a good job here. Like, hey, if
Nah, guys like that was counting his days. He was counting his days until the last 2 weeks of the season.
he already knew.
He
He
wanted to get
already
up.
knew.
The things, see, you take advantage of your opportunities, right? In the NFL. Him getting the job in Detroit was obviously something he said I could take advantage of. He took
Yep.
advantage of it. His days are numbered here because he knew once it was over, he
Yeah,
probably was going to be like, I'm out of here. I want to be part of this mess. This is a mess over here.
already.
I'm good.
He probably already was like, you know what? At the end of this season, because I'm pretty sure, you know what I'm saying, us as fans of the game and us just watching it, and him knowing exactly what's going on in that culture, exactly what was going on in that locker room. I mean, at the end of the day, he would have been dumb not to say, you know what, yeah, let me take this job. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I know that it's not gonna work here. So you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna take this job, I'm gonna do my best. And if somebody call me for a different position at the end of the season, I'm gone. Because honestly, he could have got fired from Cincinnati,
Right.
because he was a special teams coordinator there, but he could have got fired from there. So at the end of the day, he did the right thing by, taking a job. But it's a little messy. I didn't like how it happened. Daryl Bevel, I mean, you know what? And I know Motor City Sports Talk kind of said this already, but man, Daryl Bevel a hoe.
Man, already.
He's a hoe, and I'm happy that it's only 2 weeks left of the season. We got a game on Saturday, and I'm happy that everything is going to be blown up soon. I'm happy that no longer. I'm tired of Rod Wood making football decisions. I don't want him. I don't like to hear anything from Rod Wood.
Right.
When Rod Wood is talking, I only want to hear him talk about the business, the stadium. That's it.
I can't wait until it's a wrap with all of them. Like, Rod Wood, keep your business position. I'm good with that. But I can't wait till we get a real GM and a real coach in there.
Oh my goodness.
But until then, you know what? Like I said, we gonna look like we're gonna wrap this one up simply because I guess there's gonna be some news. It's hot over there in Motown, man. It's hot up there, man.
Yeah, and I'm hearing that I think they might actually be interviewing somebody today. I heard that what's my man, Barry Sanders and the linebacker,
Chris Spillman.
Chris Spielman. I heard that they weren't even at the building this morning because they were busy with GM stuff. So I'm thinking that they're interviewing somebody today, actually. So
all right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep post on that, and then as soon as we see if whoever got interviewed, we're gonna hit you off with another pod.
Yeah, we'll come back and we'll kind of give y'all the news.
From there, we out, man. Appreciate it, brother.
No problem. Take